The sun, here comes the sun. Say it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like distance is danger. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun. I say it's alright. Little darling, a smile is turning to their faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun. I say it's alright.
Sun, sun.
Sun, 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 here it comes. Sun, 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 here it comes. Sun, 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 here it comes.
One more.
Sun, 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 here it comes.
Little darling.
Little darling, I feel that ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun. I say it's alright.
Sun, sun, sun.
Sun, 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 here it comes. Sun, 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 here it comes. Sun, 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 here it comes.
One more.
Sun, 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 here it comes.
Good morning, everyone,
Morning.
and welcome to the Centers for Spiritual Living, Tucson. My name is Morgana, as most of you know by now, and I'm hosting this morning. Let's take a quick moment to get grounded in the space, get connected with our essence. I'd like to invite everyone to take a few deep breaths, breathing in slowly, hold, and release, letting go of everything that is not present, that is not here now, that is not of spirit. We are all a unique expression of the divine source. The one life, that life is God's life, that life is perfect, that life is ours right now. If you are setting an intention to experience a happier life, better health, more abundant living, and more joy, you are in the right place. Know that wherever you are on your journey, you are welcome here. Welcome.
I think there's a separate one.
Okay, let's remember if we have any devices, let's put them into silent, discard, shut up, ignore, whatever it takes. And as most of you know and have come from, we have a 20-minute meditation on offer every morning before services right across the hall.
Down.
Or, pardon me, down the hall. Changes. I hope that you all have a copy of your bulletin this morning. If not, we will indicate and we will make sure you get one. They are a good place to find any information about upcoming changes, news, events, classes that we hope to hold soon. I'm just going to highlight just a couple of things really quickly. This is the second Sunday, so coming up, we have Mastermind and our LGBTQ plus friends. And that meeting happens on the third Sunday before service at 8:30 at Starbucks on Broadway. The address in your bulletin. And there's a special note at the bottom of the bulletin that I'm not going to choose to read right now. I would like to welcome anyone who's been here for the first time, who's found us. Thank you and welcome. And remember that we have our practitioners here. I think we have everybody here today. We have Tamara hiding in the corner. We, of course, have Ruth. Ruth, I am so sorry. My brain did it again. And Sharon. Please remember that they are here for service, for after service, for any prayer or anything that's on your heart. Take a moment to be with them. Before I go, let's do our regular. And from the front of your bulletin, let's read our mission statement for the last or next to last time. It is also in
We're
flux.
going to read it. We're just changing it from
We're going to
mission to vision. This is our vision statement.
This is our vision statement.
We are envisioning.
Okay. The Center for Spiritual Living Tucson is an inclusive, vibrant spiritual community focusing on personal connection through our beliefs, principles, and practices of the science of mind. And now Sharon has a special.
Yes, I have an announcement. I don't know how special it is. Many of you may have read in the newsletter this past week, Reverend Ronnie died. She transitioned last Sunday, March 1st. She was a beloved spiritual presence in the community and in the world. She led with compassion, wisdom, and gentle guidance, and I know she touched many lives. Thank you, Morgana, for remembering tissues. So there are tissues. Please take a moment. We do have a card in the back. Janet has brought a card that you can sign. We will be sending it to Charles, just sending love and support. And I know Marilyn has asked for Charles's address, so if anybody else would like his address to send a direct note, let myself or Janet know, and we will make sure to get that to you privately. We don't want to publish that. I got a call from Reverend Joy Lovejoy, who has been a speaker in the past, and she's going to be a speaker in the future. She does grief counseling, and she has made herself available. I made little pink cards. They are in the back, and she is happy and available to support anyone that feels they need that grief support. She does ask that you text first, and she will create space to be with you and hold you through this time. We didn't get a lot of details about what happened with Reverend Ronnie. I know it was sudden. It was a surprise for me. It was a surprise for Reverend Jonathan. I've been in communication with him as well. And so I don't want to spread any rumors, but it was brief illness that she left us last week. So check the newsletter for any updates. If there's a memorial or anything, it will be posted in the newsletter. Okay? So today, we will light a candle for Reverend Ronnie. And we light this candle as a symbol of the light that she brought into the world and our community, and the enduring spirit she leaves with us. And I invite you to take a quiet moment to hold her in your thoughts. So finally, I'd like to offer this prayer from one of our Prescott practitioners who had a long relationship with Reverend Ronnie as well, Hazel Bowman. What I know, beyond all appearances, is that Reverend Ronnie is experiencing her eternal oneness with God. The life that animated her, the love that flowed through her, the light she shared so generously, these cannot be lost. They continue, expanded and unhindered in the infinite presence. Even as we grieve, we affirm the truth. Life is eternal. Love never ends. And the soul's journey unfolds in perfect order. Reverend Ronnie rests in that divine reality now, whole, free, and radiant. And so we hold her in gratitude. We bless her onward journey, and we allow peace to gently find its place within our hearts. Amen. And so it is.
If you know this, please sing it. Over the rainbow, way up high, and the dreams that you dream of once in a lifetime. I'm somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dream of, dreams really do come true. Ooh, someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find for somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dare to, oh why can't I someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, and the dreams that you dare to, oh why can't
So taking that sweet presence, this is our time of silent meditation. So I invite you to allow the sound of the chime to bring you in and out of 3 minutes of being present with Spirit. Just join me in prayer. Knowing that there is one power, one presence, one co-creative presence that is infinite, eternal. That power and presence of love, of divine wisdom, always creating right here, right now, in this moment, in every moment. And knowing that all life, all energy, all matter, all is divine. All is God. All is presence. There is no separation. I know that you, that I can never be separate from this divine presence, for we are that. And knowing that there is no separation in that we call death or transition. That all is in God, as God, through God. And so I know that this presence of life eternal is present in each and every one of us here as we reflect on the good and the light and the life of those who are no longer physically present with us. Life is eternal. Divine essence is eternal. The light is shining. And so grateful for this knowing, and so grateful for how the light has touched us in so many beautiful ways in the past, in the present, and knowing that it will continue in the future. That in many ways we are blessed beyond our understanding. And so grateful to be receptive and open to these blessings. And so I'm grateful here and now for this community and the time for connection, for hugs and laughter, that it is all good, all here, all right now. And so I release anything that seems to be in the way of life expressing here in the presence. And with joy and gratitude grounded in the here and now, and grateful for CSL Tucson and our community. And so it is. So it is. Yeah, so I'm Ruth Starwell, licensed religious science practitioner, and I'd like to read the spiritual thought, which is in the bulletin. This is from Hazel Bowman. I am always traveling, not merely across geography, but across consciousness. The outer world I move through is shaped by the inner world I move from. The mind is a projector, not a reporter. It does not simply describe reality. It participates in its formation. I am not merely traveling through life. Life is traveling through me, seeking ever higher expressions of love, wisdom, and creative emergence. The world I experience tomorrow is being formed by the consciousness I am cultivating today. And we have today 4 affirmations. So next week is 3? I don't know.
Well, the last week she'll be here in person.
So I will do it as we did last week. I will read it, and then we'll say it together. And then I'll say the next one, and we'll say it together. Sound okay? I am the conscious creator of my inner world.
I
am the conscious creator of my inner world. My thoughts generate the atmosphere of my life.
My thoughts generate the atmosphere of my life.
I choose beliefs that expand, uplift, and empower me.
I choose beliefs that expand, uplift, and empower me.
As I transform within, my outer world aligns with love, wisdom, and possibility. As I transform within, my outer world aligns with love, wisdom, and possibility.
Thank you. The question is why? Why are we here? Say our hellos and goodbyes and then disappear. This beautiful life, what is it for? To learn how to master peace or master more. There's only one answer that matters. Even if your heart has been shattered, whatever you lose, whatever you are after, love is still the answer. Love is still the answer. Love, 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 love. We all make mistakes. We're not finished yet. Maybe God made us all from an accident. The question that sits on everyone's lips is why pick ourselves up, start all over again. There's only one answer that matters. Even if your heart has been shattered, whatever you do, whatever you are after, love is still the answer. Love is still the answer. Love, 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 love. The question I'll ask at the end of my days is what did I give? What did I take? There's only one answer that matters. If your heart has been shattered, whatever you do, whatever you're after, love is still the answer. Love is still the answer. Love, 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 love. Yeah. Love, 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 love. the answer.
I feel like I have to change my whole talk. And I did. I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to talk about. And then I got the news about Reverend Ronnie on Tuesday, and I was like, oh my gosh, I should change everything. And then my spirit said, no, stick with the plan. So that's where I am today, and that's where we are. And our theme this month, just going to put that there. The theme this month, the overall theme is what if? And immediately that triggers my mom in my head. Because when we were little kids, me, my brother, my sister, when we started on the what if trail, my mom shut it down. I will not entertain what if questions. She just did not like them because, they're limitless. We kids, we have infinite imaginations, and it's like, but what if this? And then she'd try and answer it, and then we just extrapolate. But then what if? And then what if? And then what if? As adults, we tend to what if ourselves into worry. We hit that, what if I get this job and I don't like it? And what if then, and we just what if until everything is doom and gloom, and it can be relationships, our health. Health is a great one. Oh my, my dog right now is limping. And, my first thought is my neighbor's dog was diagnosed with valley fever. And then my dog sitter said, yeah, that's a thing. It makes your dog limp. So he's negative for the valley fever. It turns out he's aging. But I have all these worst case scenarios. Another friend is like, well, my dog has cancer and this is happening. And so, of course, I'm what ifing to, he's dying tomorrow. And don't we tend to do that with the what ifs? What if this? And then we just throw it into this giant worry. How often do we what if this best possible outcome, right? Well, what if everything worked out beautifully? And then I hit this little like, oh my gosh, could I have that? What if all of that things and then I lived happily ever after? And, at the end of the movie, happily ever after, we know that there's more life happening. But, my life just keeps getting better and better. Do we ever what if that? So in the CSL official materials, I like to reference those because I do read them. And then I throw out 90%. But their question of the week is, what if we fully and completely accepted our desires and dreams as divine? What if we trusted that we truly belong, that we are truly loved, that there is nothing wrong or broken in us, but understood life as simply expressing itself as each and every one of us? And whenever I go to the chiropractor, he often says, when it's time to get on the table, okay, let's get you fixed. And my response 100% of the time is, but I'm not broken. And I affirm that every time he says, let's get you fixed. I'm not broken. And so as I've contemplated the talk this week, I've mentioned the show Lucifer before. And I hear Lucifer Morningstar's thing, as the devil, he's all about granting your truest desires. And so his thing is he kind of hypnotizes you, looks you in the eye and says, what is it you truly desire? And this is often in interrogations, and he's looking at criminals and he's got them all convicted in his own head. I want to be a florist and spread joy and happiness, or I want to be a dancer, or, some other, and he's always surprised by these deepest desires. So what is it that we truly desire? Desire goes beyond our needs and our wants. And I'd like to define and just kind of, look at what is it that we need? What is it we want? And what is a desire? And so I asked Google Gemini Let's get some, because I was looking for, dictionary definitions, and just none of them made me happy. So Google provided me with a chart. And the definition of need is a fundamental requirement for survival or healthy function. The definition of a want is a specific way of fulfilling that need based on a preference. And a desire is a strong emotional longing or aspiration, often beyond reach. The nature of needs is it's universal and it's essential. And the consequence of if a need not being met leads to dysfunction or death. And they give the example of you need water to live. A want is often culturally and personally specific. And if it's not met, it leads to minor disappointment and unease. I didn't get it. And their example is you want a cold soda to quench your thirst or whatever beverage of preference. The nature of desire is intense and often aspirational. If not met, it leads to emotional longing or what ifs. And their example is you desire to own a vineyard in Italy. Now, I don't drink, but I love Italy. I've been to Rome and would love to spend more time in more of the country. Beautiful country, beautiful people. But I also thought maybe my desire is that everyone in the world have fresh water so that they can live. So our need is based in lack. We don't have it and we need it. And often we fear that we won't get it. A want, we can get what we need, but we would prefer something else, something nicer. And are we worthy of that something better? And it doesn't always satisfy our need. Does a soda really satisfy the need for I need some water? It quenches our thirst, but our bodies want water. And my mom, she always has a big thing of water. She's in hospice. She always has a big thing of water that she might sip on, but she goes to her coffee and Coke. That's what she wants, and that's what she enjoys. It's not necessarily the best thing for her, but where she is in her life, she can have what she wants, right? The desire goes beyond what we want. It's a calling. It's an emotional longing for something more. And so thinking about the talk this week, I've been asking myself, what is it that I truly desire? Because I often find when I want something and then I get it and it fills that immediate thing, but then now it doesn't really do anything for me. And sometimes I'm like, why did I get that? Why did I want that? I even ask myself, why did I want that thing so badly? So it brings to mind the question, what do I truly desire? And then I thought, that question, if time and money weren't an object, what would you do, right? And so if time and money were abundantly available, and again, look at if it was, I would travel more. I've spent three months in London. I loved living there. I've been to Rome. I've been to Egypt. I love traveling the United States. I love to travel. And my sister and I in 2020 in January, we got passports because we were going to go to England. She wanted to go to London. And then we know what happened in 2020. And just last year I got on a plane again and went to my brother's wedding. I went to Canada. I've never been to Canada. So I'm starting to travel again. I have some trips planned for this year. Something else that comes up for me often is if time and money weren't a factor, I would like to take whenever I drive by an abandoned motel or hotel, I would love to convert those into transitional housings for people that are ready to come off the streets and re-enter society and help and support those people. I just look at abandoned buildings and I see potential, and if time and money weren't a thing, I have a passion for that. Something that has been with me for a long time. Something else, since I was a minister in Northern California in my small church, I have wanted to grow a church. And I had a friend several years ago that he and I were kind of flirting. And he said, hey, Sharon, you want to start a church together? And I said, yes, I want to grow a church. And he said, that's awesome. And I find myself here today in this transition period with CSLT, and I'm looking at that ministry again. And I am looking at how do we as a community grow a church, because that has been a desire of Centers for Spiritual Living Tucson since I moved here in 2021. We want to grow our into our community into our community. So I also, in thinking about desire, was thinking about Christy Whitman's The Desire Factor. And I love this book, and I thought when I finished it, we should do a class on it because it has exercises after every chapter. So it's a built-in curriculum. And she says, desire is a catalyst that can awaken our highest qualities, our greatest human potential, and our full spiritual power. The act of acknowledging a desire also leads us on a journey. And this is not only a journey of having, so not only a journey of acquiring things, but also a journey of becoming. And in her book, she admits she has a passion for designer purses, designer shoes, designer clothes, something I have no affiliation with. I like comfort. I just cannot see, even if I had time and money wearing a thing, I can't see spending $1,000 on, to carry my stuff. I just can't see it. It's not me. But that, for her, is her carrot, as she calls it. And she says that it's never about the thing. It's about who we have to become when we surrender to the desire to have it. When she first saw it, I think she mentioned Spendy. I don't even know brands, but she saw some purse in a shop, and she wasn't in a place in her life she could have it. But she grew into that person where she could have that. And so it's the becoming that is the journey, that desire that calls us forth. And in the book, as I mentioned, you may see a book study later this year. The book gives us 7 principles to manifesting your desires. She is I won't even go there, I can't think of it. A manifestation coach is what she essentially does. And she gives us 7 principles to manifesting our desires and growing into the next greater expression of spirit as us. The first one is alignment. Aligning ourselves with Source, with a power greater than ourselves. And this alignment, we align ourselves with abundance in all forms. Number 2 is focus. Where is our attention? Is it on our desire, or is it on all the what ifs of why we can't have it? All of those things that are between where I am today and where I have to be to have that desire. Third is joyful expectancy. Does your desire spark joy, or does it spark work and dread and heaviness, and maybe that's somebody else's desire for you? How often do we hear the stories, and maybe you experience it yourself, of your parents wanting you to go into whatever the family business might be. And that's not your dream, that's not your calling, but how many people go and try and do it, and they're just not happy. They're following somebody else's desire. That joyful expectancy brings that energy of excitement. And everything starts with energy, right? Everything is energy. So if we are following our desire, if we're following it in this joyful anticipation of reaching that desire, we're more likely to do it, right? We're more likely to achieve it. Fourth is having. The principle of having. Can we have it? How often do we hit that I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, there's all these things, I'm too old, I'm too young, and blah, 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 all the lists of things of why we can't have it. And when I was the minister in the other church, and in our meditation classes, we had a tool called the havingness gauge. And we would sit in meditation and create a gauge. It could be a temperature thermometer or a clock. And we would ask this gauge, can I have this thing that I would like to create? And I can't tell you how many times it's like 50% or less. You just can't have that. You know, your parents say you can't have it. You say you can't have it. Your neighbor says you can't have it. Your sibling competition is great. You know, I can't have more than my siblings. You know, so our havingness of our desires is limited on other people's stuff. Number 5, loving. Principle of loving. Source is love. We are love. And allowing love to flow helps heal us and allows us to be worthy of our desire. Love also makes sure that our desires do no harm to ourselves or to others. When we're in that loving vibration, we can't do something that's going to harm us or someone else. And loving also brings gratitude. That gratitude before the event that has happened. We are already grateful for what is about to manifest. Number 6 is surrender. Allowing the universe to bring forth our desire unconditionally. How often do we, okay, there's my desire, I see it, I see the steps, I know how to get there, and then we block out everything else because we think we know. And so we surrender. We surrender to the process. We don't force things that get in our way. Maybe we need some course corrections and the universe is going, you know, you think you need to go this way, but to get there, you really need to go somewhere else. And we follow the path that our desire leads us to, whether we like it or not. Because again, getting to this desire, it's about the journey. It's the growth process. It's what we go through and who we become. And so sometimes our ideas are not the highest, best ideas to get us from where we are to where we really, truly desire to be. The 7th step principle is action. Our desire will call us into action, and nothing is going to happen sitting on my couch, watching TV or playing my Facebook games or whatever it is that I'm doing. I am not going to get to my desire doing nothing. Living in our true desire, the path is made clear. We will know, and we will know, oh, we're at a roadblock, and something else will open up so that we know, oh, okay, now we go here. And it might be a zigzaggy path. I think, was it Reverend Lee? Somebody spoke about, you know, when we're sailing a ship, if breeze is behind us, great, we're going forward. But when the wind is in our face, we have to tack. We have to go back and forth. It's not a straight line. We will always have that divine direction. When we are aligned and we are in our path of our desire, we'll see those coincidences, you know, the signs and the messages and the intuition. And, you know, that saying, you know, when you hear something 3 times, you know, you go, oh yeah, okay. And then somebody else in a totally unrelated part of your life says the same thing. And you're like, huh. And then when you hear it that 3rd time, you go, okay, I really need to pay attention now. You know, you noticed it keeps coming up. It's telling you, it's that sign. And I just had that Jim Carrey movie, the God movie. Bruce Almighty, thank you. and you know, and he's like, give me a sign, God. And he's screaming at God and, you know, smiting God. And he's driving along, and he's literally behind a truck full of signs. While we're screaming for a sign. So our action can sometimes just be pay attention to what is in front of us. So earlier, I mentioned some of my truest dreams, those desired that have stayed with me over the course of my life. These are things that continue to recur. And as I said, I'm beginning to travel more. When I'm guided, I support people in need. And I'm looking at ministerial school. And because that's what it is. Ministerial school, you know, I went to Bakersfield with the express purpose of getting my degree in religious science and sociology. to go to the Ernest Holmes Consciousness Studies program to become a minister. That was why I left Sonoma County for Bakersfield. While I was there, I became a practitioner. Then I was like called to move out here. And now I find myself in this community. When Reverend Janice said she was retiring, I laughed because I was like, okay, I've been here before. You know, and the call to leadership keeps recurring in my life. And so this is something that I am embracing for myself. And I invite you guys along for my ride. And what I notice is that I quite often will, and I'm admitting this, choose the path of least resistance. That sometimes I don't follow that desire, and it keeps recurring. But sometimes I don't follow it because, you know, I don't want to. You know, there's work involved. I'm going to have to change. Or I choose security. Right now I'm looking at, do I leave my job that pays me a base salary to keep my rent and everything going? Or trusting and taking that leap of faith that I know is sitting there, and every day it becomes more and more obvious that I'm supposed to be doing this. I'm getting ready. Getting in the position. And the other thing that often holds me back is that wanting to be wanted, that I want to fit in. I've outgrown a lot of people in my life. And sometimes just being small, just, okay, let me stay here so I don't lose more people. But what I find is when I step into the next greater expression of who I am, my tribe, my people find me. And so I'm not alone. And so I'm like looking at how I threw my notes together here this morning. I'm embracing what shows up. This embracing is my word of the year. And so what shows up in my life, I'm embracing it whether I like it or not. I'm admitting, you know, I'm acknowledging it's good and it's for my highest good. The final thing that kept coming into my head this week, and then I saw a video from Marianne Williamson talking about her passage, her quote, that for a while was attributed to Nelson Mandela, but it's from her book, Return to Love. And I actually saw a video of her promoting her class on Return to Love that she is teaching right now. And so I'd like to read that passage in closing. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we're liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So I'd like to close this in prayer. Knowing that there is one light, one love, one divine presence expressing itself in, as, and through all of creation. I know that this one is that light that shines within me, that shines within each one of us. That each of us is walking this divine path as this next greater expression of God as us. And so I know that as we walk this path, we walk this path in love. We walk this path in peace. That as the world is happening around us, we stay centered in this peaceful center, knowing that God is happening, is expressing right here and right now. And so I say a word of peace for the world as new conflicts arise. I release the tension and just know that peace is prevailing right here, right now. There is no will prevail. I know that peace is right now happening on this planet as us. I say a word for Janet and Mike and everyone who loved her beloved dog Frankie across the Rainbow Bridge. We know that he is happy and playing, and his brave heart is wholly beautiful, and he is missed. I say a word for Barbara Arissa, who I heard this morning had a stroke and is in the hospital. We know that she is on her way to full and perfect recovery, that her spirit knows the way to wholeness. And finally, a word for Reverend Ronnie, knowing that as she continues on her spiritual journey, that the love that she shared in this world is continuing on, it continues forward, it is paying forward, and that each and every one of us, everyone whose her life is touched, pays that love forward. And so I know that each of us, in our truest desire to be all that we can, follows our divine paths, allow our lights to shine, knowing that each of us makes a difference in our world, that we are the love and the light. And I'm grateful for everyone who has said yes to this divine assignment to be all that you can be. So in this gratitude, I release this word, knowing it is so. Everybody say, so it is.
So it is.
Repeat after me. Right here, right now, right on, and so it is, right here, right now, right on, and so it is, yesterday is gone, and tomorrow's a dream. This moment is all that I see. Right here, yeah, right now, right on, and so right here, right now, right on, and so
So thank you all again for being here. It's I'm so grateful for you. Marianne came in and she's like, I came here to see people. And I said, isn't that why we're all here? So thank you for being here. We have our donation basket in the back for your cash and checks. We do have PayPal. Text, I don't have all the numbers. You can text to tithe. Any way you support our center, we are grateful. We do have stuff on the back. There's a Natural Awakenings. There's a card for Charles to sign. And I think we'll make a list. If you want Charles's address, give us your email. And then we will send his address out to you so that we're not broadcasting it to the world. And anything else?
The membership class.
Membership class, thank you. There is a sign up in the back for the membership class. Once I hit 5 people, 5 is kind of my minimum. And I think we've got 3, 4. I
think we're there.
Okay, so then we'll start entertaining what day we're going to have that. So that will be happening soon. All right. Thank you for being here. You all have a blessed week and divine love. You know, I always forget that. So I look at Michael. I couldn't do this without you guys. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous now.
So it is. So it is. Please stand up and sing the oldie but goodie. life.